Good morning, YouTube, and welcome to B-Roll Pictures. Oh, that's good. Alright, so today we're going to be checking out a short film called Cry Wolf, directed by Ellen Johansson. It's a short film, so we're just going to sit down, we're going to take a look, and we're going to see what's going on. So let's hang out and watch it.
Keep north. Take right at the big rock. Try not to fall.
Oh! Du kommer Shaun! Oh!
Camping for idiots. How to put up a tent.
Did you shit your pants? Come home. I thought you were joking about going camping.
I gave you the option to join me.
Just take your Instagram photos and come home. Come on, I won't tell
I'm
anyone.
not on Instagram. I'm actually doing this all without technology.
Yeah,
And I was enjoying my screen-free time before you called, actually.
as if you wouldn't survive for 5 minutes out there without your phone.
I need a mouth to sing my song. I need my fingers to strum along. Some of the moon and some of the sinners sleep until noon and warm me in winter. Oh, carry me on. Oh, carry me through. Oh, carry me on. Oh, carry me through.
It's so very nice to be sitting in the sun with you. It's so very nice to be sitting in the sun with you.
Yes. Oh my god,
Very
yes.
nice to be sitting in the sun with you.
I
It's
saw that
so
happening and was
sunny
literally
all
hoping
day.
that's what was gonna happen. Like, you saw that progressing and was like, oh god, please let this happen. And they just delivered. Okay. Let's go back and check it out and let's talk about it. First of all, this opening shot's just great. I love the framing. Right, and you remember, you're putting someone low in the frame, puts them in a very subjective, kind of lower power dynamic. Like, she's powerless to these woods, right? It's kind of what I'm getting this feel from that. That's a great shot. Long lens, right? We got the focus on the tree showing us what she's looking at, that push-in. The framing is great. Sticking with that center framing. I love that she has this like old picture framed map. Right?
Keep north. Take right at the big rock.
That's
Try
funny.
not to fall.
The music, the ominous presence. This is hilarious. This is hilarious. Okay. Well, now this is so great as a decision that the way they chose to cut to this, right? She could have easily shown her setting down her stuff, pulling out the tent, unwrapping the tent from its bag, pulling it out, going through all that. But you know what? Like, that's all fat. That's not the meat. The meat of this is that she's struggling to do this and doesn't know what she's doing. Cuts right to it. That push in is such a great choice. Struggling is hilarious.
Camping for idiots.
Camping for idiots.
How to put up a tent.
That sequence is so well done. The pace of that is so well done. Everything's been relatively slow in terms of movement and cutting, right? Nothing really fast. Slow,
Keep north.
slow,
Take
slow.
right.
Camping for
After
idiots.
this, it's like a quick little montage where you're just like boom, boom, boom. And the sound design. Listen to all the sound design.
How to put up
Listen to
a
the
tent.
sounds. That little bell ring. She missed it. Ding. Great. That wipe sound. Whoosh. And this is a great transition for introducing him, right? It's just a great transition. She's out here taking her pictures, maybe her Instagram pictures, whatever the case. It's Instagram. I love that he interrupts that moment. It's a great directing choice. Great. This is such a good setup for later.
Did you shit your pants? Come home. I thought you were joking about going camping.
I gave you the option to join me.
Just take your Instagram photos and come home. Come on, I won't tell anyone.
Not
He's not lying either. Take your
on
Instagram photos.
I'm actually doing this all without technology.
Shit.
Yeah, just
And I was enjoying my screen-free time before you called, actually.
as if you wouldn't survive for 5 minutes out there without your phone.
He's not wrong either, which makes it funnier. This is hilarious. It's like an inspirational, oh, I'm gonna do this. Wes Anderson vibes, anybody? The over the shoulder, like the only way it would have been more Wes. I mean, that's pretty Wes. I guess would have been like if it was more like parallel to the camera, if it was flatter, just like a little vertical shot. But that's pretty damn close. Everything's super center framed too, right? And it just makes for these really good, simple yet dynamic compositions. Centered. You know what's gonna happen.
I need a mouth to sing my song. I need my fingers to strum along.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. The music's great. These are hilarious. Even that, everything has its humor and what's happening, what she's getting from nature and how she's overcoming it is what's hilarious. That transition is fantastic. Fantastic. Like, it's totally got me on that, like, there's that transition in Shaun of the Dead, right? Where he just, like, falls into the chair and, like, it cuts like that. I love those. These are just so dynamic. Everything's happening. The fire goes out, the moon, like, it's so well done. On the music, everything. It just transitions really well. Center framed again. Look at this. Look at this pushing right here. Look at that slow. That right now, after she starts playing. Okay. She has excellent camera control. Excellent camera control. And that's really giving her power in creating tension in this. She really uses that push in to kind of build tension, especially now towards the end. I mean, look at most of these shots are static. They're not moving. And that allows us to kind of our eyes to be more attracted to what's happening in the frame as opposed to what's going on, like with the camera movement. See, this is static. Nothing's moving. And then after she plays the music on the laptop to help her fall asleep is when it starts initiating that slow push in. I love that she brought that out there. There's that push in. All of that to cue in with the sound design. Again, excellent sound design. It's pulling her under. That's a crazy awesome shot. And look at that. Look at how there's that passage of time between these two cuts. She's laying down. And now she's sitting up. Right? Laying down. To immediately sitting up. That is such a powerful cut in terms of time and what's happening. A lot of people always, when we're making short films, we feel the need to, we have to show everything. We need to make sure that the viewers are following us. So this character's showing up home and they're going to go inside. They show up, they park the car, they get out, they open the door, shut the door, lock the car, walk to the front door, unlock the front door, walk in the house, sit down, kick off their shoes, grab a glass of whiskey and sit down on the couch and finally decompress with a sigh. You could have easily told that same story, them sitting in their car, staring at nothing. To match cut of the same framing, him sitting in the couch with a glass of whiskey, right? And what you're doing is you're trimming out the fat. This is super lean and it's super tight because of that, right? There's a really good rule for short filmmaking that you can apply to when you're making something, right? For your story, when you're putting your story together, is show up late and leave early, right? Show up late to the story and leave early. Get out early. You don't need to show up everything. We don't need to see the origins of this person, right? That's okay. This is a short film. The more tight and compact it is, the better it's going to be, especially here. I mean, so in a typical 3-act structure, what part of the story is this short film taking place in? The second act? It's probably the second, like the last third of the second act, right? We saw earlier in the short film where she said, why didn't you come with me? I invited you. So they had a conversation about this. She talked about this. They could have easily chosen to introduce the boyfriend James at the beginning of the film, short film, with her loading up her car, and he's out there making fun of her, and she's like, I'm going to go, and why won't you come with me? And you could show that conflict and think that's important, but they chose to do it in such a better way. They chose to put the focus on the meat of the story. That would have been just excess fat, right? Again, it's going back to this idea where they're basically in one location. They're in one location shooting. They went to the woods to shoot this. They didn't have to show multiple locations. They're not doing multiple setups. Granted, they are moving the camera around a fair amount in this, so the ideal locations are changing, but it's generally all in the woods, keeping it tight. So I think making sure that we keep doing that, keeping things, the story and the narrative tight. Great cut. Great. The sound design with that. I think you can hear the wolf too. That slow pushing on the flap is just perfect. The wind building. It's just so great. It's so great. You know what's gonna happen too. That's so great. And that was a cheaper way to show that, and more funny. You didn't need to show her fighting anything. You just let us listen to it, right? It's just as powerful. This is hilarious. The blood splatter on her face is hilarious. The way they did it. Tell me you weren't expecting this, and just like, what a great payoff. You know what's coming. And she breaks the fourth wall. Like, so many classic, like, easy decisions to make, but so well executed that they're so effective. A lot of times we always feel like we need to break the wheel, I need to break the mold, and I can't be original, and I gotta do something different. I can't do that. Well, like, a lot of this stuff is not necessarily unique to anything we've seen before, but it's so well done that you enjoy it.
It's so very nice to be sitting in the sun with you. It's so very nice to be sitting in the sun with you.
Great.
It's so
Great
very
last
nice
song.
to be sitting in the sun with
Great.
you. It's so wonderful, sunny full day.
And the music to end it all, sum it all up, was so perfect. I mean, this was such a great little tight short film that you can pull from. You can pull ideas from this and pay attention to the decisions that they make and how they made them and where they chose to cut. The pacing of that is so perfect. The pacing, the movement of the camera. Really think about that. I think this one for me is important because everything is so well done, especially on the camera side and the movement side of this. The story was really good. The way they chose to execute, what part of the story they wanted to tell was the first choice that they made, and they did a really good job. And then Johansson, the way she directed everything, and the DP, Oscar Brandenburg, they put this together. The framing shots, the static shots versus the movement shots, all of that really helped build the feelings and pace of this short film, and they killed it. They knocked it out of the park. Awesome. Good job. Hey, if you guys enjoyed that, hang out, watch some more films, and don't forget, there's a link in the description below. Send us your film, we will get it watched. As always, if you guys enjoyed this and enjoyed the content we're making, please subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you can see when I'm posting, and as always, let's do this, let's make some films.